Welcome back to DIY No Need to Cry with Yvelisse. Seashell Wine Bottle Art DIY. Episode 2, Decorating Seashells. Hi, my crafty fam. In the last episode, we painted and sealed the bottle. If you haven't seen that yet, click the I at the top right-hand corner of this video or click the link in the description box below. While we give the bottle some time to dry, we will be decorating and preparing all the embellishments in this episode. Let's get started. I'll be using this net that my avocados come in, but first I'll need to cut the tags off. And these are all the seashells I collected over the years, and some that I bought to give it that little extra to take the piece to the next level. I laid out all of the shells I collected, plus the ones I bought, and grabbed the metallic paints I had used on the bottle along with this white pearl metallic paint. This is me experimenting and seeing which paint looks best on what shell. I really love the way the white pearl looked on the lighter shells. It really made them pop without overdoing it. I only used a tiny bit of paint and buffed it right into the shells with my fingers. Then I tried the gold. And then the ice blue on the blue shells, and look at that. Oh, that is so pretty. This is the blue topaz and yeah, gorge. I did try other colors, but I realized I wanted to stay with a certain color palette, so I never used those. Once I had an idea of what the paints looked like on the shells, I set myself up and really got down to business. I laid out a little bit of each color I was going to use and had a tiny sponge brush for each color. Put my headphones on, turned the music up, and that's all she wrote, fam. I was in my zone again. Sometimes I would use a brush because if I had used my short pudgy fingers, it would have spread the paint too much. And this way, I had a little more control of it. I only wanted to highlight all the creases on this shell. I did some with 2 colors, and once they dried, I added a highlight on top. You can use all the colors or just combinations of them. I tried to get as many variations as I could. Place a color and let it dry. Go back and place another color. But the trick when adding the second color is to not add a lot of paint. And unlike we did for the first color, we don't want to rub the second color in. You want to give it a light brush so that it only paints the raised parts of the shell, and you get that beautiful highlight and combo of colors. I did this to most of the shells, but I left a few without any because I know myself. And as I'm putting together the bottle, I might want a certain shell in a spot, but it might not be the color I want it to be. So leave a few unpainted just in case. Lastly, I'm going to paint that net because that green has got to go. Again, it's all preference. And at this point, I had a color palette and it did not include that dreadful green. So, as usual, I will prime it with white matte acrylic paint. And I just went right in with my hands because it ain't fun if you don't get messy. After I felt it was pretty covered, I spread it out in front of a fan to dry before adding the final color. Once it was dry, I pulled it apart some, and some of the paint will flake off, but that's okay. I placed it on the glass so I didn't make a mess on my table when I painted. This time, I will be using a sponge brush and dabbing the gold paint onto it until it's completely covered. If you're wondering why I didn't just dip it in the gold paint and smush it all together as I did with the white paint, it's because the white paint is dry and brittle at this point, and if I had added the gold paint the same way I did with the white, it would rub the white paint right off and I would have to start over. And this is where I felt it was time to start adding some bling. I grabbed my gold glitter fabric paint and threw it right on top of the gold paint. After you're done with one side, do the other to make sure you cover as much as you can. Set it aside to dry, and that'll be all for now on the embellishments. When I start decorating the bottle, I'll be adding more details to the embellishments, but I like to add that as I decorate. And that's it for this episode, my crafty kings and queens. But stay tuned for the next episode. as I'll be showing you the cool trick to add the look of ocean foam onto the bottle. And as always, have fun, be creative, and make a mess. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to thumbs it up as it helps the growth of the channel and to show your support. If you're new to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing to get updates on future videos. And remember, do it yourself. There's no need to cry.